I think a lot of times they eat it like they'll get right down by it and just suck it up by the head. And I think that if you have it way up by the tail, I don't know. I like my hooks close to the head on worms and other swim baits and all that kind of stuff. So that's important too. It may look like it's 50% there, but it's probably say 66%. So we'll go to the next slide and I can show you guys a little more about it. Hands down, best time for this thing, 120%, is when you're fishing shallow and it's pre-spawn or spawn. And there's fish moving into areas, they're cruising around. I mean, your ideal conditions. Before we talk about anything else, let's talk about ideal conditions. If I'm in a lake and there's some docks and little patches of grass and there's fish like moving up into the shallows, it's a warm, sunny day, not a lot of wind, this is your technique. Because when it's a warm, calm day on pretty clear water, you're not gonna go through there just throwing a swim bait and throwing a spinner bait and whatever else and just jacking on fish. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. Those fish can see a lot better on a day like that. And so you're gonna have to use something that's really natural to them. And so that's why that is a perfect scenario for this bait. So, and as I'm going through there, we'll just talk about it. I mean, it's a 3 to 15 foot. I catch them down in 15 foot. I catch them down in 30 feet on spotted bass lakes, but for the majority of the time, it's a 3 to 15 foot deal. And I use that 16th ounce weight from like 3 to 10 feet, and I'll use that 3/32 for anything deeper than 10 or 15. And also, same thing, if it's windy, and you're still trying to throw it up shallower, maybe the 3/32 is better because of the wind, just allowing you to feel a little bit better that day. But if I'm going into a pocket, I'm not that good of a drawer, so I didn't illustrate anything for you guys, but let's picture ourselves going into a pocket. And you got some docks on the left, you got a few docks over there on the right, you got some little isolated grass through there where they're just gonna be spawning all back in this pocket. And you've got maybe a couple lily pad stems, all that kind of stuff. Like the number one spots for me to throw this thing, for sure, once the sun is up, is under a dock. That is like, bread and butter right there. It is perfect. And I've caught them under docks that are literally 10 inches of water, and I've caught them under docks, down at Smith Lake in Alabama in 50 feet. But when we're going into a pocket like this, what I'm trying to say is no dock is too shallow. If there's any kind of shade up there, they can use it. And it's the craziest thing. Maybe you guys have done it, but like you go into a pocket that's really clear water and you got this little rig on, and I've rolled into docks and I'm like, and specifically I'll look for one isolated dock. And even though it might be the shallowest dock, I know that if there's a bass around there, that's where he's gonna be because there's nothing else for him. It's shallow water that he's gonna be under that dock. And I'll roll up and I look at it and I can see the bottom. I'm like, there's no way there's one under there. I'm sure you guys have had this happen up here. And you skip under there and you get bit and you're like, I cannot believe that. You set the hook and it's a 3-pounder or whatever. And that has happened several times for me.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.